In the bright air of the month of May, this child among the nations celebrates its birthday. The people gather to reaffirm the promise of their Charter of Independence. We hereby declare that the State of Israel will promote the development of the country for the benefit of all its inhabitants. You make the journey east across the Mediterranean, and a question wheels in the air like a wild bird. Has the promise of Israel been kept? Has it worked, and is it working? For the people and by the people. Look at the map, and you see a slim plow blade of a nation dug into the earth between the mountains of Lebanon and the Red Sea, 260 miles from tip to tip. And in this tiny space, nature plays fantastic variations on the theme, ranging from scorched desert to cool green fields, ranging from long valleys to towering mountains. A map is a useful thing, but it has its limitations. There never yet was a map that showed the boundaries of the heart. The heart of Israel is its people. An incredible tapestry woven of strands from the ends of the earth. The exile and the outcast come home at last, bringing their skills, their songs, their secret dreams. Medieval craftsmen and 20th century technicians. From the world's great cities they have come, and from lost villages in the hills. Across 6 continents and 7 seas they have journeyed to Judea to build a nation. And so you arrive at this distant shore to see for yourself what they have made and are making. Haifa is the gateway. From the bay, your eyes make out a white and gleaming city sprawling down the slopes of Mount Carmel. A city flung like a bridge between the ages. City of the biblical mountain and the electric transformer. City of the prophet Isaiah and the prophet Edison. Its voice is the metal cry of mill whistles, the Nesha cement plant, the Atta cotton mill, fertilizers and chemicals, the Phoenicia glass works. The 500 factories of this San Francisco on the Mediterranean greeting the new day with a sonata of smoke and steel. Down at the harbor, the ships tie up to unload their precious cargoes of Australian wool, Norwegian timber, Pittsburgh steel, machine tools from Michigan and points west. A new nation must survive on imports, and they come COD. Only a small part of the bill being met by exports like these oranges. 6 million crates a year going out to 18 countries. The ships also unloading a cargo of flesh and blood, young immigrant faces alive with hope. 100 years ago, there was nothing here but a walled village with a bull hide for a gate. In 1920, it was a small town ringed with swamps. The population was barely 900, half of them down with malaria. Today, Haifa is an industrial city of 150,000, the best port in the Middle East, with immaculate residential sections, with office buildings as modern as Stockholm and St. Louis. From the outskirts of the city with its careful gardens, you swing north, following the coastline to a white village. Ramat Hadassa Zold, a reception center where Youth Aliyah welcomes in immigrant children from every corner of the earth, from the back streets of Budapest and the ghettos of Baghdad. Feeds them, clothes them, comforts them, and then sends them on to begin a new life at one of the cluster of Youth Aliyah settlements here in the valley of Jezreel. The formula, is love and sunlight and patient care. The young, exhausted bodies slowly growing strong, eyes growing unafraid, limbs preparing for the leap into the future. From the children's villages, the road swings north through a running river of wild poppies to the kibbutz of Kfar Masarik, a cooperative settlement including Youth Aliyah graduates, all sharing the work and dividing the harvest. The kibbutz supplying their every need, from tools to toothpaste to old age pensions. At the edge of the fields lie the man-made fish ponds. Careful feeding produces a new yield every 6 weeks. In the pale dawn, they go down to net the flashing silver carp and load them into trucks with special oxygen tanks to be delivered alive to the cities. For in this land of little meat and much austerity, it is crucial that there be fresh fish for the Sabbath. But of all the products of the kibbutz, this is the richest. Its children, cared for in a community center, watched over with a special kind of fierce pride. From Kfar Masarik, travel on only a few short miles to the great mosque rising over the ancient caravan city of Accra. Accra with its Muslim town crier. Down these dim streets, past these crumbling walls, tramped Caesar's legions. And beyond, the Roman aqueducts march across the countryside with a great, haunting, broken stride. And above them, a village planted like a rare tree on the hillside. Look closely, for these are not ordinary settlers. These are children of the survivors of the Warsaw Ghetto. A salute to the triumph of the garden over the graveyard. The road then curving east towards Safed. East along the old chariot trails, east along the slopes ancient with olive trees and the boot marks of conquerors, to Safed. Safed, the silver city, where Christ preached his Sermon on the Mount. Safed with its twisted streets, with its cast iron balconies and forgotten back alleys that drop down in sudden stairways. A place loved by artists for its pure light and serene, aged dignity. On a green rise 2,000 feet above the city stands the tuberculosis sanatorium supported by Hadassa. The new buildings carved out of stone from the surrounding hills. Quiet paths circling under the tall cedars. And the long open verandas. Surgery and sunlight combining to beat back the dark disease of the ghettos, to rescue its victims and return them to the world of health. From Safed, you swing a great arc north to the Khule. Here at the Syrian border, a jagged spine rises to the peak of Mount Hermon. The old legend telling that when the Lord chose Sinai to hand down the law to Moses, he gave Mount Hermon its white crown as consolation. And below, stretching away down the terraces and the plowed fields, lies the Jordan Valley with its green, swift-rushing river. A river that for centuries has flooded its banks to spill out into a deadly malarial swamp. Now a vast project is underway. Engineers at work with bulldozers and dragline buckets draining the Hule swamp to turn it into 12,000 acres of fertile farmland. From the Hule, you turn south to the Sea of Galilee, the astonishing blue sea, bluer than any sky. It lies at the edge of Tiberias with its ruined forts of the Crusaders and its modern hotel Galilee and Nazareth, the dock where you take the boat to Capernaum. Capernaum, the fragments of an ancient civilization, and among the broken pillars of a 2nd century synagogue, you come upon the Star of David. The ancient ways, echoing not only in the patterns of dead stones, but in the patterns of life upon the road where you pass. Turning southeast now, climb the high ridge sharp as a knife blade and look down upon the town of Nazareth. Over these hills, history rings like a bronze bell. In these streets live 8,000 Christian Arabs, enjoying all the rights of citizens, including social insurance that covers hospitalization, childbirth, widowhood, disability, and unemployment. The children attending Israeli schools are taught in Arabic with Hebrew as a second language. Out of Nazareth, with its famous Church of the Annunciation, we cross the hills of Galilee, the olive groves still looking as they must have looked to Jesus and Jeremiah, and then continue the circle southeast, across the plains of Esdraelon, past Mount Tabor, past the new pine forests, to the junior Hadasah village of Mea Shvea. You must know that they came as pioneers here to a patch of earth sick and exhausted, covered with stones. You must know that they had to begin before the beginning, clearing the land before they could cultivate it, to understand what a world of patience and skill and back-breaking labor is reflected in these green vineyards. From Shvea, swing south past the grape arbors of Zikron Yaakov, south toward the coast, coming at last to the old seaport of Caesarea. Israeli divers at work clearing out the old Roman harbor are veterans of the French underground, immigrants from Nice and Marseille. And from Caesarea south again, along the white beaches, along this Riviera of the Middle East with its modern hotels like the Sharon. Tourists spending their days swimming in the Mediterranean and their evenings in nearby Netanya, attending concerts and dance recitals in the Greek theater, the stage seeming to merge with the sea. The soft beach stretching away south to the glistening new hotel Ramat Aviv, the scene of Hadassa's unique school of hotel management. The students test their classroom theories in the laboratory of life, with room clerks and head waiters acting as teachers. And south again toward Tel Aviv, the sea riding in on the tide from Gibraltar, the sea rolling east from Sicily to break in gentle waves at the edge of the city. Anyone who lives in Tel Aviv lives with the sea. Incredible to look at these broad avenues, to look at Dizengoff Square with its flashing fountain, and know that all this was born in 1905. Tel Aviv is a babe in arms compared to Rome, or even Rochester. 50 years ago, this was a desolate waste with lizards baking on the sand dunes and wild jackals roaming the hills. Today, the streets are alive with traffic. Today the streets are crowded with shops selling plates designed by Israeli artists and copper candlesticks wrought by Israeli craftsmen. Tel Aviv being also the home of 2/3 of Israel's light industry. The cry of the jackal replaced by the cry of the turret lathe. A city with 6 orchestras and 60 string quartets and half a dozen theaters, including the world-renowned Habima. And from the outskirts of Tel Aviv, it is only a step into Jaffa. At the time of Solomon, this was Judea's leading seaport, now a quiet ghost of its former glory, as most of the shipping turns north to the new docks of Haifa. And below Jaffa lies Lydda, its great airport serving Israel's airline, El Al, as well as the passenger planes of 13 foreign nations. The road leading south from Lydda to Rehovot, home of the Weizmann Institute, where world-famous scientists chart the contours of a world of pure research. From Rehovot, the road drives south to plunge like an arrow into the rolling hills of Israel's frontier, the Negev. The first settlers came here to a lonely wilderness. They came with nothing, with their bare hands and a bucket of hope. Stubbornly planting trees along the dusty roads, planting settlements upon the stone hills, bringing in their water from miles away, hoarding it as though it were liquid silver. They brought in cattle to pasture and tractors to plow the earth, coaxing forth a rich harvest of wheat and barley, creating a new world green as spring in the barren hills. They set up their scattered settlements among the wandering tribes of Bedouins. Jew and Arab alike reaching out to the reassuring hand of Hadassa, the visiting nurses and the white ambulances servicing the vast area of Beersheba. Beersheba, the town once a scene of mud huts and goatskin tents. Its sleepy streets suddenly coming to life again, new immigrants pouring in, new housing projects shooting up, the bare earth giving way to trees and gardens. And the first municipal building, a school, opening its doors for these sons and daughters of the pioneers. Always from the first days of this town's revival, the heart of Beersheba was Hadassa's Chaim Yaski Hospital. Its courtyard and clinic and quiet wards a refuge from the merciless war against the desert. Its nurses and doctors serving patients of all faiths. The hospital holding out a fragment of security in the uncertain life of the frontier. From Beersheba, the road turns east across a burning landscape of hills looking as though they'd been chopped out with a great axe. East across the desert to Sodom. Down the rocky cliffs, the new highway slicing like a smooth black blade from Beersheba to the Dead Sea. The potash works and the rich deposits of magnesium and sodium chloride, enough to meet the needs of the world for the next 1,000 years. And from Sodom, the Wadi Araba, running to the southern tip of Israel and the Gulf of Aqaba. The town of Eilat, the beach of white coral, and the water flowing toward where Moses led his children out of bondage across the Red Sea. Beyond the ring of mountains lie the copper mines of King Solomon, now in operation once again after 5,000 years. And from Eilat you turn north again into the Jerusalem corridor. Each hilltop covered with 1,000 stones, and new immigrants at work painstakingly clearing the earth to make way for the plow. The corridor sprouting new factories, circled by immigrant settlements. The doctors of Hadassa's community medical service are familiar figures in these hills, along these dusty paths, where immigrants go to work now setting out young saplings on the ancient slopes. The land giving birth to the new forests of the Jewish National Fund. Immigrants from the ghettos of Persia and Yemen becoming the proprietors of 1 million fir trees. Not that the immigrants arrived with empty hands, far from it. To corridor settlements like Talpiot, they bring all the varied, bright-colored weave of their many cultures, the fruits of their patient hands flooding the marketplace, the poetry of Moroccan folk sayings, and the sound of Kurdish music riding on the wind. And close by Talpiot in the corridor, you come upon the settlement of Bet Mazmil, a town housing 400 immigrants from 24 countries. In this raw new community, Hadassa has set up the pilot plant of its community health program, a program founded on the simple truth that people cannot be separated from their environment. At the Hadassa Health Center, the family is treated as a unit, and the stress is shifted from diagnosis and treatment to prevention. The work at Bet Mazmil serving as a living proof of the bright future of community medicine, and also as a potential training ground for student doctors, nurses, and social workers. Students that will one day be coming from nearby Ein Karam, the town with its ancient spring, the spring that furnished Jerusalem with its only drinking water through the parched and desperate days of siege during the War of Liberation. Ein Karam, with its churches and its necklace of hills, behind which lies the site of Hadassa's new medical center. The groundbreaking ceremony marking the formal beginning of what will one day be the home of a great modern hospital and of the Hebrew University Hadassa Medical School. And from Ein Karam we turn, moving at last to the incomparable city, Jerusalem. The place is named in an ancient tongue. You will find it mentioned in the book of Genesis. You will find it written down on scrolls of cracked papyrus dug up from the tombs of Egypt. Yerushalayim, the city of peace. You ride in down the Jaffa Road, past the shops with their rolled iron shutters, past the market stalls, the smell of spices and sweet corn, the peddlers of tea and Turkish coffee. Outside the old walls, you find a modern city built of stone from its own hills, the rosy pink streaked with orange. The home of Israel's parliament, the Knesset, and of the synagogue. The streets of this city of Solomon and King David crowded now with gleaming new buildings, the air pulsing with a 20th century tempo. This was always a city of asylum, a place of refuge for the sick. Today that ancient tradition is carried on by the hospitals of Hadasah. Ziv Hospital, its operating theater the scene of new miracles in cardiac surgery. Hospital Dalid, Hospital Aleph, Hospital Gimel, its lawns washed in sunlight, its expert technicians specially trained for the treatment of tubercular children. And Alaska Mental and Child Guidance Center, providing psychiatric therapy, with the accent on the needs of new mothers. The staffs of all the hospitals strengthened by a stream of graduates from Hadasah's School of Nursing, its work attracting world-famous visitors like Helen Keller. The medical program running on supplies paid for by Hadasah members from Salem to Sacramento. An ancient city, yes, and a city of asylum. But most of all, Jerusalem was always a city of learning, and it is this heritage that flowers now in the classroom laboratories of the medical school, where students from 20 lands take up the art of healing. It is this heritage of learning that will be nurtured in the new buildings of Hadasah's Alice Seligsburg Vocational School, nurtured at Romema, the site of the new Brandeis School with its tools for the shaping of a generation. Up from Jerusalem now, up from the hills of Israel, from the Hule and the Galilee, there sounds a song for a new morning. The song of peoples gathered from the ends of the earth to build a land for their children. For their children, they have reclaimed the wilderness, revived their cities, built their bright villages. They have climbed out of the darkness of centuries to take their place among the nations, coming from different yesterdays to create a common tomorrow.